So I have this picture here on the web, and you're able to download it and print it if you want to use it as a model, or you can just look it on the screen if you want to use it as a model. And let's see if I put it for now over here. I'm going to move that like that. Alright, so we're going to start with regular pencil sketch. You can do whatever you want to do. Here we go. So you can use pen, you can use pencil. If you have watercolors, you can use watercolors.
Facebook PDA.
Yeah.
I'll check from upstairs. I'm like.
Yep. So whatever you want to draw or paint with is fine. So I will comment that we are all different levels and abilities, and normally I am a photographer, so my drawing and painting could be at a low level compared with many of you out there, which is great. I'd love to see the types of things that you end up doing with this, and we all inspire each other. So if you're using a pencil, just make sure that it's sharpened. It's good to have an eraser around if you want to erase things. But part of the beauty of a pencil sketch is that it's your own interpretation. So if the lines aren't straight or if the proportions are different, that's all fine. This is your interpretation of how you see things. So we'll just start in the middle at the top. And draw the top cone, top nose piece, two side pieces, see, you can see my lines aren't quite straight. If you want to make them super straight, if you're going for incredibly realistic, then you can pull out your handy ruler and do it with the ruler method, but I happen to like unique and unusual, so I just go with the flow. And I accept that my hands tend to be a little shaky. That is okay. It's actually taken me a while to come to terms with all of that. I used to be annoyed that my hands were shaky, and then at some point you say, I'm just grateful to have the things that I have. And if my hands are a little shaky, that's alright. There are many worse problems to have in life. Alright, so do a circle thing down here. That's a little small, but that's alright. Looks more like it's coming up out of a missile silo or something. When you're drawing with pencil, you're thinking about shapes. So this is sort of a long rectangle up here. And you've got circle shapes. The nice thing about practicing drawing is that you can draw anywhere, pretty much, unless of course you're driving a car or something. You probably shouldn't be drawing. But in general, you could be drawing anywhere. And the more you practice, the more you develop your own style, whatever style that happens to be. Some people have edgy styles. Some people have realistic styles. Some people have Picasso kinds of styles. And it's all right. If we all drew exactly the same, life would be very boring. So we should relish that we all draw differently. And the nice thing about drawing is that a lot of the other types of artwork, like watercolors or acrylic painting or oil painting, often have drawing at their base. So the more and more that you practice drawing, the more that you get yourself set up to do all sorts of different kinds of artwork styles. There's a circle thing in here. Put it there. Alright, I think that's all the major things. And the nice thing about artwork is that you don't need to do it specifically to match the scene. If you don't want to, you can change things. So if you want to have a tree over here, and if you want it to be a tall squiggly kind of tree, you can add that in. Give it a little limb or two. If you want to add a little person over here looking at it, yeah, maybe they're holding the camera. There you go. Yeah, if you want to make some of the parts darker, just use a little bit of shading with your pencil to color that in. The nice thing about pencil sketches is that they tend to be relatively quick, although if you want to add in a ton of detail, you can of course sit here and work on this for hours and hours and hours. But if you want to get just a quick idea of a scene, then you could do it relatively quickly. Put in whatever details strike your fancy. Bob is coming back. Are you going to come back and tell me that you can't hear me at all, or that you can hear me?
I'm telling you that I can't hear anything off of Facebook.
Oh,
So it doesn't mean anything about you.
that's a little odd.
Well, like, if you do two things with audio, sometimes one of them takes, at least on my computer, sometimes one of them takes over and blocks anything else.
Alright. Well, I guess I won't know until later if this is recording or not. Alright, so pencil sketches only require a pencil. Pencil sharpener is useful. Some eraser is useful. Now I'll note that this pencil has a pencil eraser on the top of it, but these pencil erasers are notoriously less than useful. So it's good to get an actual eraser, and they're very cheap. But if you don't have one, regular eraser works fine. And I mean, I didn't even erase anything while I was working on this, so you don't even need an eraser if you don't want one. And then I tend to like to go over the lines to be able to get them to darken a bit. And also I like that sketched kind of effect where they have the different lines going. Gives it more of the personal handmade effect rather than that it was created by a computer program. Alright, so that's a pencil sketch.